So what if I told you there was a way to gain a 10% edge over the rest of your fantasy football league by doing this one simple thing? One simple thing. The only catch is it's going to take you about, I'd say 10 to 20 minutes to compile the information. So if 10 minutes to maybe 20 minutes of your time is worth a 10 to possibly 15% edge in your fantasy football league, then watch the rest of this video. So what is this crazy new method that I have for you? Okay, well, it's nothing new. It's nothing too crazy. What it is exploiting ADP variance between your drafting platform and your actual rankings. So you might be asking yourself, how does this give me a 10 to 15% edge over my league weights in fantasy football? Before you click off this video, just listen to what I'm saying. If it doesn't resonate, then you can go. I understand. No apologies needed. Continue on with your life. The reason why it's going to give you an edge is because in our drafts, regardless of what anyone is going to tell you, unless you're drafting on a best ball platform, which even then it's going to go very chalky, but in your regular redraft leagues, the majority of the time there's going to be minimal variance, which means if they say on ESPN or Sleeper or Yahoo that this person should be going at pick number 10, they're going to probably be going right at or right before, right after pick number 10. Is there going to be situations where there's 10 to 15% variancy? Yes. Is there going to be times where somebody goes half a round later, half a round earlier? Yes. But by and large, especially earlier in your draft, maybe the first 6, 7, 8 rounds, it is going to go very, 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 very close to chalk unless you have league mates who are crazy or just want certain players on their team again this year. So if we know it's going to go pretty close to chalk with a little bit of variancy, having this set up like I'm going to tell you how to do it is going to give you an edge that if no one else is doing in your league, it is legitimately a 10 to 15% cheat code that you will have to draft better. And drafting has got to be at least 50%, 60% of the equation for winning in fantasy football, because the core group of guys that you start with is going to be the people that are going to usually carry you through to the end of the season. So if that makes sense to you, keep watching. Now you might say to me, Ethan, where do I get these rankings? Not my website, not shouting them out, but they are a good resource, especially for people that are new in the beginning. Fantasy Pros is a great place out there. They have rankings that you can customize. There's also a multitude of other websites and other creators out there who also have their rankings, whether it's positional or top 100, top 200. You can find it on every single website. I have my own rankings as well, so if you want to watch one of those videos, I'll tag it somewhere in here, right? The point is, once you have your rankings, you're then going to go to the website that you're drafting on. If you're doing best ball, you can use this in best ball as well, believe it or not. But if you're drafting on ESPN, you're drafting on Sleeper, Yahoo, or some other website, you're going to take your list and you're going to put it up here on one side of your screen, and then you're going to take their ADPs or their draft recommendations as far as their rankings, because it's either going to be their ADPs or their rankings or whatever you want to call it, but you're actually going to go on your platform. You're going to go on your platform. So I'm going to show you what I mean. All right, so you're going to come over here to your platform. For me, for this example, it's going to be on Sleeper. I'm going to come over here. It's unfortunate because Sleeper doesn't make it quite as easy as like ESPN and Yahoo, where they traditionally have like a list of people you can look at. But regardless, you're going to come over here to your platform. You are going to have on this side, you're going to have their list of players. And I'm sorry that I can't share it all the way up, but this thing is kind of wonky. You're going to have their rankings, like 22 is Lab McConkey, 23 is going to be Trey McBride, 24 is Lamar Jackson, 25 is Jonathan Taylor. They have all their rankings down. Perfect. It's going to be the same thing on every single site. If I go over to ESPN, it would be the exact same thing. So if you come over here on ESPN, you can either go into their drafting platform, which I'm not logged into for my computer that I'm on right now, or you can come over here to their actual positional rankings, or you can use some of their like top 300 for PPR, other people's top 200, whatever it is. So there's going to be multiple options between all the different drafting platforms that you're using. So once you have your platform pulled up, regardless of which one it is, then what you want to do is, if you want to do it individually by who you have ranked, so like for example on Sleeper, they have Jamar Chase at 1, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson. For me, I have it listed as my top 100 over here as well, but mine's Jameer, Bijan, Jamar, Nico. It's a little bit different than theirs because that's my individual rankings that I have made. Now, what I like to do is, if this is too much, if the 100 people list, 200 people list is too much for you, you can make it a little bit easier. I can scroll over here. I have it by positional group. And this is where I've actually started to highlight people, and I kind of have it set up just like this. Again, one side of your screen, your platform. The other side of the screen, your spreadsheet, doc, whatever you want it to be. Have them side by side. I know this is kind of nerdy, but if you're new, I swear to you, man, this will give you an edge that people that are in your league that don't do this are missing out on. I have it organized just like this. Again, this is going to be the actual rankings for me. It's Jameer Gibbs, Bijan, Saquon. They have it Saquon, Bijan, Jameer. A little bit different. I have it color-coded if you want to go super nerdy, and gray means that they are 5 spots ahead of where I have them ranked. So, for example, on Sleeper, Ashton Genty is grayed out because I have him 5 spots or more lower than where they have him. A green would mean I have him 5 spots or more higher than where Sleeper has him. So, for example, Chuba Hubbard is 1, Tony Pollard is 1. That means that on my individual rankings, they are 5 spots higher than what Sleeper says they should be being drafted as. I will look at my cheat sheet if I'm in between a couple of different people, and it's very, very helpful. This is especially true when it's in between positional groups, because there are times where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of in between a wide receiver and a running back. Okay, well, this running back on Sleeper is being overvalued by a couple picks or 1 pick than where I have in my rankings. But this wide receiver is being valued maybe a little bit lower than where he should be, or he might be being valued exactly where he should be going as far as I'm concerned. This will help you give slight edges to how you're drafting players. Again, kind of as I mentioned earlier, it's kind of nerdy, but I'm telling you, it will help save you a lot of time, a lot of headache, and make your drafting a lot more confident. So a big thing that helped me last year was I had Devon Achane ranked a lot higher in my personal rankings than he was going on the platform I was drafting on. So I had him ranked higher, but the site I was on had him going way later. I think it was like a round and a half, 2 rounds later. So instead of drafting him where I thought he should be going, because it was color-coded, I was like, hey, it's green. This means that I should be able to wait at least a round and pick him up on the way back. And it worked out not just with him, but multiple other players during my draft. It also kept me, like I said earlier, from reaching on players. On the site I was on, it might say that, this guy's supposed to go at pick 32, but I have him ranked at pick 42. So that's a whole almost round difference. So I would kind of avoid picking people early who really should be going later in my draft. So now you have your website's ADP, you have how they have people ranked, you have your rankings, you then, like I said, go through. If you don't want to color code it, fine. If you want to just look at it and have it in your memory, fine. I like color coding it because it helps me when I'm going through my draft. It makes it a little bit more eye-popping when I'm like, okay, red means stop, green means go, other colors mean this. Perfect. Again, you can do it by player group, you can do it by a top 100, top 200, however you want to do it, but I'm telling you, it is going to give you an edge because you're going to notice when you take your rankings versus the actual site's ADP or rankings, there is going to be discrepancies, like I already mentioned earlier, where players are going way too early or maybe way too late, and you can take advantage of those things by fading and maybe slightly reaching or waiting on and ensuring that you're going to get the player who's going later than they actually should be. Hopefully, you can take this information, you can apply it to your actual drafts. If you have any questions about how to do it, if you have any questions about my rankings because you haven't seen the full rankings or videos or whatever, there will be other videos around here for positional group rankings. If you have any other questions, especially again, if you are new or a little bit more intermediate in fantasy football about how to use this, how to execute it, I didn't explain it well enough, please let me know in the comments. I will respond to you, or I will make another video clarifying, using more diagrams, whatever you need, because I'm telling you right now, this was a tool that I use, a tool that I came up with last season that helped propel me to winning my league in 2024, because I'm going to tell you again, thank God, I had the best draft out of everyone I drafted with, even though there was plenty of people who had way more experience than me, but I know that they did not know this one little trick, as dumb as it is, to help them draft better in fantasy football. Hopefully this video helps you get just a little bit closer to winning your fantasy football championship in 2025. Hopefully I'll see you guys again hopefully you guys will see me again real soon. And until then, y'all have a blessed day. Bye.